Hi, I've been brain rotting, doom scrolling, and I was feeling like a pig actually. And I decided, well, let's do something. And the video idea was initially to learn a little bit more about consciousness, how people define consciousness, whether animals are conscious, and which animals are more conscious than other animals. But then I fell into a little bit of a rabbit hole about like existentialism kind of and the observer paradox, even though I didn't research much about the observer paradox itself, but here we are. So I was wondering, who are we? And you may say we're humans, but then human is a tag really, because see, we are humans because there are animals. There are dogs, there are cats, there are cows, there are, lions and tigers and these things. And as compared to them, we are humans. As compared to some plants, we are humans, we are animals, right? But then if we remove all these tags, all these societal tags that have been placed on us, why isn't it focusing like that? Anyway, so if we remove all of those tags, then what do we become? Like, who are we if we are not the tags that we have put on ourselves? And then we are the universe experiencing itself. I know this may sound very bad, like who wants to listen to a girl ranting about nothing? Or but I found it quite fascinating. I tried to talk about this with my mom, and she just chased me away. So I am here. We are the universe experiencing itself. We are the consciousness. So everything that is present here, if you're religious, then that's a different topic. But then we are made up of stardust, right? The universe arranged itself in such a way that we could experience its creation. So we are the universe experiencing itself. We are a form of consciousness, because when we have a thought, we can know that we have a thought. We're not our thoughts, because if we were our thoughts, we wouldn't be able to look at it from another, observe it. We would just have them without us observing that, oh, I just had a thought. I speak right now. I'm not my voice because I know I'm speaking. Like, I have the, consciousness. I have the awareness. I have observed myself speaking. You know how the knife cannot cut itself? In the same way, the observer cannot observe itself. So if I am able to observe the thought, then it means I am not my thought. So who are we truly if we're not the tags that we have, and if we are the universe experiencing itself? Like, are we the universe then? So what I know, what I think is that who I truly am is the unique perspective I have on life. I'm not separate from my conscious. So people call this the observer effect. If you start seeing your body, your physical being, as something separate from the consciousness that you have, then you start seeing them as two different things. The consciousness is the ultimate observer, and then the body you have is just a mere vessel that contains that observer. But I think that they cannot be separated, because the observer cannot observe life without the presence of a physical body, right? So if me as an observer, me as an internal observer did not have this body, I wouldn't be able to experience life. I know what it feels like to have the sun on my skin, because I have skin, I have nerves, and my voice just, because the nerves carry that reaction to my brain, and then my consciousness, my brain, my mind is able to comprehend it. So without my body, my consciousness would be nothing. But my consciousness is not my body. I don't know. So I am the observer, right? I'm the observer of my body. I'm observing everything. I'm experiencing the world. I'm a consciousness that goes beyond the body, but also I'm nothing without my body. move forward, I came across a lot of other posts as well, and I found some really interesting ones, like genuinely interesting ones. It was like, or maybe I'm just having these thoughts for the very first time, and then I think they're interesting, but they're not actually interesting. But so I looked at things from this unique perspective that I saw on Reddit. my source of my source is Reddit, guys. So they wrote, the self is not the body, but the body is the self. The self is not the body, but the body is the self. So this user wrote that they see the self, the consciousness, as a limitless thing, right? The self is limitless. If we are the universe experiencing itself, the universe is limitless, it is infinite. And when something is infinite, it is everywhere and nowhere at the same time. For example, if you take the analogy of an ocean, then the ocean is very big, right? And water is literally everywhere. How can the water experience itself or experience the being the ocean when it is everywhere? So something that is limitless needs to have boundaries so that it can experience something at a certain point, so that it can experience itself. And that's why the self has put boundary, which is the body, the physical body is the boundary, is the limit that it has put, and it is experiencing itself. So that's why they wrote, the self is not the body. The self is a limitless being. It is limitless. You cannot limit it to just the body. But then the body that you have is the self. Because the experiences that I have, there's this thing called like the body keeps the score, and the experiences that you have, the trauma that you have endured, the body has kept it. And the way you react to different things, the way the consciousness views things is influenced by what you have been through. And since the body keeps the scores, imagine this, okay? Imagine consciousness as this like bright light, and our body, the vessel, being the lens that it looks through. Now if the body has experiences, good or bad ones, because it keeps the score, then the lens that the consciousness is looking through becomes blurry or muddy or cracked or this and that. So the experience that the consciousness has is going to be influenced by the body, the lens. I don't know if it's making any sense. So should we start seeing ourselves apart from the body? Like, are we not our physical body? If I'm not my thoughts, because I can observe my thoughts, the observer cannot observe itself. So if I am my thoughts, if I'm not my thoughts because I can observe them, then who am I? Like, who is the consciousness, right? And honestly, I don't think that the body and the consciousness, the self, are different. I've already told you, right? What the self, the consciousness experiences is related to what the body has been through. So they're not two distinct things. You should not, like, I'm not saying you should not, but I feel like most people, when they come across such questions, they start separating, they start thinking of themselves as an observer in their own body. They think that their mind is trapped in their brain, right? And that is not the best place to be in, because then you stop caring about the physical vessel, because you are so like internally thinking that you are another like observer or something. So what is identity truly then? Who am I? What is identity if we're not humans, if we're consciousness? Like, how do we define it? And this reminded me of the ship of Theseus paradox, and I was kind of thinking about that, okay? And this is what I've written. I think there are different levels of identity. The first one is the relational identity, who I am in relation to someone else. I am XYZ's daughter, I am XYZ's granddaughter, I am ABC's sister, I am ABC's friend, right? But if I am in a room full of people that don't know my brother, I cannot go there and introduce myself as, oh, I am XYZ's sister, because nobody knows my brother, so nobody would know who I am. Then there comes the other form of identity, which is tied to my name, something that is mine, right? oh, my name is ABC, my name is this, that. But does it mean that once I change my name, I cease to be, I do not like, I'm not me anymore? No, right? Because then the other form of identity comes, which is my physical form. I am me. The name that I have is a part of me, but then just because I change my name doesn't mean that I stop to be me. Right? I have this face of mine. And does that mean that once I change my face, let's say I get plastic surgery, like I cease to be? No. And when you keep looking at these layers, you get to an ultimate point where you say, like, the consciousness that cannot be changed. How I have experienced life and how I continue to experience life, the lens I look at through, the lens I look through at life, that is not something that can change, and that is who I am. And if there comes a clone that sounds the same as me, that has the same voice, that thinks the same as me, looks the same, who is the real me then? And to that, I believe that every experience, every moment that I have lived, the exact time and space where I have experienced that moment, the exact millisecond where that moment, that action has taken place, can never be replicated. For example, at this millisecond, right, what I am doing, it can never ever be replicated. And it's not just me. At this exact millisecond, what someone else in this other part of the world was doing, it could never be replicated. The time and space that I occupy right now, no one can occupy the same exact time space at the same exact moment, right? So who I am truly will never be able to be replicated. And even if nobody in this world knows that I am the true me because the clone took over or something, the consciousness that is in me will know it, right? And yeah, that's all. I'm kind of tired. I spoke a lot.